Well, hi, and welcome to Northern Adventure. As you can see behind me, it's a beautiful day in the forest, and it's a great day to undertake some projects. And I've got one project in particular, and I'm going to take a walk up here toward where that project is. And that project is replacing the decking on our cargo trailer. But the old deck on this cargo trailer is pretty dirty, as you'll see, and it also is badly in need of repair. So let's take a look. Alright, so that's a look at some of the damage on the cargo trailer's decking. And I've got some new 2x6s that were delivered the other day, 16 footers. We're going to throw those on this trailer and make a new deck on this trailer. And it shouldn't be very hard to do, it should be pretty quick. I'm going to hook up the tractor to this trailer, and we're going to pull it out of here, back it up by the shed so we can have it near the workshop. And we're going to start putting new decking on. Okay, the wiring's fairly accessible underneath now, so I'm going to try to show you where that is. Turn this around a little bit, so hopefully you can kind of see the two wiring harnesses held in by a single screw. I'm not going to take those off all the way, just a little bit. So basically what I'll do is loosen the screw so I can just get the wiring off the harness, and then I'll turn that board over, take those two clips off, and reinstall them in the proper spot on the next deck board. Which reminds me, I didn't do that back there. I don't think I had a wire back there, but I do have a wire on a harness on the other side. I gotta remember to save that clip and move it as well. Okay, this board gets its wiring clip moved over to the new one. So, right there's the old clip. And I'm just going to move that. I've got the boards lined up, so that's going to go directly right over there. One point I should make about this is this is treated lumber that I'm putting on. It was treated lumber before too. So I need to make sure that the screw I put in for these clips is going to be something that stands up to the treatment in the lumber. So I'm going to go get a screw for this and change this one out. Well, I took a look at my collection of screws, and I don't have any short screws for treated lumber left in my collection, so don't really have time to be running into a hardware store. That's a 45-minute trip, round trip, maybe an hour. Don't have time for that, so we're going to use the old screws. They held up okay, so they should hold up some more. Alright, well, after a little bit of work, the old deck is off, and the next step is removing the tie downs and then reinstalling them on the new sideboards. So I've got 2 of the tie downs off. I'm going to take the next one off now. Okay, I've got the old board with the holes that are drilled in it for the mounting points for the D-hook tie downs. I've got that lined up with the new board underneath, and I'm going to punch marks where I need to drill for the new holes. Just marking my holes for where I got to drill now. Not yet. All right, the D-rings are partially reinstalled at this point. Just pounded the bolts right through the wood, and now we need to reinstall the washers and the nuts. And that'll be one side of the tie downs reinstalled. All right, we'll do that a few more times, and those D-rings will be installed, and we'll reinstall the first board. All right, at long last, after a bunch of monkeying around, the tie downs are installed on both side boards, left and right. And now it's time to start putting the decking back on the trailer, which is going to be a bit of a trick. The new wood is a little bit swelled because it's damp, so it doesn't fit under the lip very well on the front or the back of the trailer. So I've got my orbital sander. I might have to take a little bit off the ends just to make it slip in there a little bit easier without having to do a whole lot of pounding. Then of course, as you go across the deck surface, you have less and less play to work with when you're installing these boards. So there's a variety of techniques that people have tried to do this with this kind of decking, and the one I'm going to try, if I have to, we'll see if it's necessary, is to use a jack with a bit of 2x4 or 4x4 on it to make a point where you can bend the board over top of it and fit it in to the back lip. You get it in the front lip, fit it into the back lip, and then drop the jack, and hopefully that drops into place. So we'll see if that's going to be necessary, but we're going to go ahead and install the decking now. Almost. Another inch. Quarter inch. Eighth of an inch. So these boards get a little tight as you go, and I found that you can give yourself a little bit of an extra help getting them fitted if you use an orbital sander. So there's a little variation in these boards, both on thickness and on length, just a little bit. I think they're from a couple of different suppliers from the lumberyard that I ordered them from. And what I find that you can do is just take a little bit off with your orbital sander where it goes underneath the lips, and it fits a little bit better. Still a nice snug fit, you don't take that much off. The other thing is, on the end that you're putting in at an angle, if you round off the corner toward the direction that you're pushing it in, that allows it to slip in a lot easier. So I'm going to do that right now. Okay, I put a little radius on that corner, and took a little bit off the top just to let it slip in a little bit better. Just smoothing out the wood I think helps. So I'm going to show you that radius. Maybe you'll be able to see that. So I just radiused this edge, not particularly well, but just enough I think to help it slide into place.
Ready?
Yep. Almost. Oh, you bastard, they aren't going to quite make it. All right, got it. All right, we're almost finished. We got the last board to put in. That's all that's left. And so I'll kind of show you what this looks like. So there is the new deck. And the last board is still standing up on, or outside the ledge out there on the other side. Still not installed. There's Denise taking it easy. How do you like the new deck?
Oh, it looks good. You did a good job.
So what are you going to do next?
Well, next we're gonna get this last board in, and then we're gonna go have supper because it's like probably like 8 p.m. already.
Yep, so. I started this early or late afternoon, I guess, 4 o'clock. So this is 4 hours of work to get this far.
Yep, you've done good though. You did most of all this work, so you did good.
So then I'm gonna put the trailer jack down and unhitch the tractor and put the tractor away, and we're gonna call it a night.
Yeah, because mosquitoes are getting bad.
All right, well let's pump the jack up and let's see if this one slips in.
All right.
All right, start pumping, honey. Getting close. Okay, let her down. Got the jack out from underneath there? Alright, so the only thing left is for one of us to jump up on the deck and stomp this one down.
You go ahead.
You don't want to be the stomper?
You do it.
Alright. So the moon is out. It's about time to call it quits. Thanks for watching us today while we put on the new deck on this cargo trailer. I hope you thought it was mildly interesting. Might have been kind of boring, but hopefully it was useful. If you have a cargo trailer like this and you need to put a new deck on, hopefully this gives you some idea as to one way you might be able to pull it off. Denise is ready to go in,
well,
so
you should see,
please like, subscribe, come back for more. This is Northern Adventure, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.